Join me now, McCain supporter, Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty. His home state is expected to be in the Obama column at this point. The latest Big Ten battleground poll showing the Illinois senator with a 19-point advantage. Governor, welcome.
David, thanks for having me on the show.
Do you concede that Minnesota is all but gone in the Obama column at this stage?
Well, there's some other polls that show it much closer than that, but clearly he has the advantage, and Senator McCain is going to have a big comeback here to take Minnesota. But at this point, Senator Obama does have the advantage here. But it's not so large, it's inconceivable that Senator McCain could win.
Governor, I don't have to tell you that Senator McCain's record is one of being a maverick and one of being a moderate Republican who knew how to work with Democrats across the aisle. There's lots of examples that he likes to talk about on the campaign trail. And yet we're seeing within the past couple of weeks this movement of Obamacans, Republicans, mavericks, moderates who are now supporting Barack Obama, your former Republican governor who was on the program on Friday night, Ken Edelman, a friend of the vice president's neoconservative in his thinking, Colin Powell. The list goes on, including Christopher Hitchens, Chris Buckley, the son, of course, of the godfather conservative movement, William F. Buckley. Why is this happening?
Well, I think there's a group of folks who perhaps are disenfranchised with what they perceive to be the Republican Party or brand, David. But I think the thing to look at is if you put Barack Obama in the White House with the Democrats controlling the Congress, you will have a unstoppable train of bad ideas rolling down the track. There'll be nobody there to bring it back to center, nobody there to balance it off and bring it to the mainstream. And for those moderate or centrist Republicans, it'd be very good to have John McCain there to bring what's going to be a very leftist Congress if Barack Obama is elected, a rubber stamp for a leftist Congress, to bring it back to center, bring it back to the mainstream.
This is what Senator Obama is saying on the campaign trail about Senator McCain, about his strategy in the final week. Let's listen, and I'll let you react on the other side.
He's spending these last weeks calling me every name in the book. Because that's how you play the game in Washington. If you can't beat your opponent's ideas, you distort those ideas and maybe make some up. If you don't have a record to run on, then you paint your opponent as someone people should run away from. You make a big election about small things.
Governor, what disqualifies Senator Obama from being president in your mind?
Well, I think it just goes to the issue of the differences of the issue positions and policy positions, David. He said the other day when asked, do you want to retract the statement about Joe the plumber and the redistribution of wealth? He said no, he wants to keep that. So he's proposed to raise taxes on capital gains, on income, on depreciation, on dividends, on payroll, a fine or a penalty on health care, and on down the list. What thinking economist or person would say it's a good idea to have those kinds of tax increases when we're in a recession? And I think if you look at most people's concern, it's their job, and those would be job-killing tax initiatives. So those are just bad ideas. It's not that Senator Obama is somehow, a bad person or unpatriotic. That's not the case. The case is he just has a very different view of these policy matters as Senator McCain does.
But does that disagreement on policy matters disqualify him, in your mind, from being an effective president?
Well, it's just an honest difference of opinion on the issues, David. It's not a matter of him being ineligible or disqualified. It's just a very different view of the world where if you're going to take people who are currently trying to provide jobs, barely getting by, and put those kinds of additional tax burdens on the economy, that would not be helpful. It's unwise. It doesn't mean he's disqualified.
What's it going to take for a McCain comeback to become a reality?
I think he's going to have to emphasize basically three things. Number one, you don't want a runaway train of all Democrats running the whole country. That's not balanced. That's not mainstream. Number two, you don't want to be raising taxes in a recession. That's obvious, or any time. And number three, Senator McCain has got the requisite experience, wisdom, and judgment to be the leader of the free world and commander-in-chief. All
right. Governor Tim Pawlenty, as always, good to have you on the program.
All right, David. Thank you.